well, welcome back to Good Germs Off-Road Adventures, and welcome to one of my very favorite places. We have finally come back to Ballarat. Hey folks, before we get into the video, I need to have a little chat with you. See, we had intended on 4 days of exploring up in Ballarat, go see South Park Canyon, Rogers Pass, Pleasant Canyon, cabins, mines, camps, and even some of the things around Ballarat, the town itself. But what we didn't count on was the weather. See, the weather forecast said it was going to be mid-90s, but cooling into the upper 80s by the end of our trip. However, in reality, it was closer to about 110 by midday. With up to 8 hours of exploring and adventuring planned each day, that kind of heat, I just didn't think we were going to be able to pull it off. So we went ahead, waited till it cooled down a bit, got dark, Sidewinder went through camp, packed up camp, went ahead and came home. We did manage to get some filming done, so I thought I'd go ahead and put it together and show it to you now. We will make another trip up there when the weather cools down, and we'll go see all the things, and we should be able to produce several, hopefully, good, entertaining, and slightly educational videos from that. In the meantime, please enjoy what we were able to put together for you. You can see we have our camp all set up, and it's a bit warm out here today. It's about 95, but we scan around, you can see some ruins from the old town. Off in the distance right there in about the middle, you can see the old jail. Over here you've got what's called the General Store and Museum. That's stretching it, but still pretty neat. And then out this direction, just past these tables, is Boot Hill, the cemetery. The one and the only, the original Seldom Seen Slim. He is laid to rest in this cemetery. Well, let's go ahead and check out the General Store Museum thing. Not gonna lie, the place looks a lot different from the last time I was here. It was probably about 4 years ago, at least. Cleaned up real nice. Restrooms, that's kind of new. I don't remember there being restrooms or an old Jeep. Usually you can find some dudes and some dudettes out here just hanging out on the front porch. Not a bad place to hang out. There is a well around here somewhere. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a walk through the, the museum. You got this piano. I don't think the piano works. This place does have some nude dancing burros. I've seen the burros. They're naked, but I've never seen them dance. Anyway, let's go ahead and head inside. All sorts of things to look at in here. Let's just go ahead and kind of walk through it. So that is the real Seldom Seen Slim. Yeah. Photographs of some of the original structures. World Beater. We might make it to World Beater this weekend. Surprise Canyon. Now this hasn't looked like this in many, many, many years, and we're probably not going to get down there. The old Chris Wicht camp. Oh, there's a lizard over there. Anyway, the Chris Wicht camp, that's long gone. Clare Camp. We will make it to Clare Camp up Pleasant Canyon. That's about 8 miles or so up the road. Yep, Peter Fonda from, making a movie out here. Some jets. Look, a lot of jets. They do buzz the valley here pretty frequently. Very old camp stove. Yep. a typewriter, not sure why. Some more old goodies. And you'll see Ballarat, Australia. So no, we're not in Australia. We are in California, but this town was named after Ballarat in Australia, another gold mining town. This map here on the wall is really neat. It's it's bumpy. It's got the landscape texture, the mountain ranges, and you can actually find Ballarat. I was looking at this just a little while ago. Just got to find it again. Here we are. So this is Ballarat here. The Searless Valley. You have Trona and the borax mines. This is Owens Valley, and this is where Owens Lake once was, and Cerro Gordo is right up in here. Got some just stuff that people have found and deposited here. Looks like, is that an old Prince Albert can? It is not. It is not. Some old cans and coffee grinders, and then up here, this is photographs from Panamint City. The only real remain of Panamint City is really the smokestack, and it may or may not still be there, the chimney. So this to me looks like geologist cabin. So this is the old general store from Ballarat, obviously long gone. 20 mule team pulling the ore carts. Some more recent pictures with ruins. This looks to me like it's outside of the Chris Wick Last Chance Saloon, which used to be just down the road, maybe a couple hundred yards, and we'll see if we can find the place where that used to be. An old shack there. This is a scene from inside Chris Wick's old saloon. There's another great picture of Ballarat. Yeah. I'm not sure where this cabin is. I don't think I've seen this one. These are some more petroglyphs. Here's the school, Ballarat School, 1900. Here's a photograph of the main street, probably the only street in Ballarat. This is from 1898, and you can see here, this is the Callaway Hotel, the only two-story building. And you can probably notice, there's another photograph, we'll see it, but the bottom floor is made out of, adobe, just like many of the buildings out here. In case you haven't noticed, there's not a lot of trees, in the desert. So any lumber that was used had to be hauled in. So a lot of buildings were just made from whatever, mud and sticks were found locally. Another picture of the general store with the windmill, water tower. Here's a better photograph of the hotel. You can see the bottom floor was pretty much adobe, and the top was wood. Just a picture of a road up to a mine. There's another picture of Ballarat from 1907. And here's some pictures of Ballarat, Australia. Sure. Some information on Seldom Seen Slim. So here we have his casket, his actual grave marker, which we'll go see. Him being laid to rest. Here we go. Seldom Seen Slim's place, Ballarat. He lived in this little trailer. And then here's the cemetery layout. You can see number one, they've put Charles Fergie, which is Seldom Seen Slim. This is a neat picture here. I don't know if I can get this without the glare. Probably not. Maybe if I turn, whoa, that's worse, isn't it? It's really hard to get this picture, but let me just get closer, I guess. I'm not real certain what this is. This is obviously Ballarat, but I am not certain what buildings this was. This is a very good photograph, though. Another photograph of Ballarat. This would be more recent. Yep. Here we've got some different wildlife you're going to see. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of these guys out here. That'd be nice. And then there's some art. This building, I've seen multiple reports, or not reports, I've seen multiple descriptions of what this building was. Post office is what comes up most often for this building, but it's also noted as a miner's cabin, so I'm not really sure. Even some artwork of the way it looks today with the ruins. And then there's this massive painting that somebody did of Panamint City. And the date on this thing is, 1979. So if this thing was painted in 1979, I don't know when it was hung here, but it's in really great shape. And then, of course, to the side here, we've got more artwork. And then the jail you can see there's on the upper right. That's pretty much the last building still standing. This pretty nice. What I find really amazing is there's a couple of things here that are, this kind of depicts Ballarat in its heyday. And honestly, so does this one. So I don't know who painted these, but these are fantastic paintings. And then for some reason, Jeeps. Okay. Cool old chest and scale. Kind of love this lamp. Some more artifacts. I see a sign here. It looks interesting. It says, made and sold years ago at Panamint Valley Onyx Mine. Really, the camera doesn't want to focus in on that, but that's pretty neat. Pretty neat old stove. Some more artifacts. So yeah, museum, sure. Somebody made this cool sign. That's neat. Definitely a museum, but also general store. We have to concede that this is in fact a store. They have some really neat, t-shirts, some books for sale, and rope, marshmallows. No idea how old those are. Some motor oil, some toilet paper. That's something you probably would find helpful. But we've also got some cool stickers. And then, some hats and some mugs. None of this stuff was here last time I was here. And then, pop rocks and glow sticks. So when I came up, I was kind of surprised not to see old Rocky Novak here. So I did ask about him, and, he's alive and well, but he's not really staying out here anymore. He pretty much grew up in this area, but he's living not too far from here, from what I'm told, down in Trona, which we'll have passed through on the way through here. So that was good. I'm glad to hear that he's still alive and well. Definitely miss seeing him here. He's kind of a mainstay of the town. So anyway, we'll see what other kind of goodness we can get into. Now, coming out of the store, you're kind of met with a pretty neat view of kind of what's left of the town. You've got the old Dodge truck, some old mining equipment, the jail. So somewhere in the vicinity here is Post Office Spring. We should be in it somewhere through here. The reason why that's significant is before the town of Ballarat, there was still miners here, and they still had to communicate with the outside world. So the story goes that there was an old mesquite tree, and I've just got done trying to ride through here and never found any mesquite tree. But the story goes there was an old mesquite tree, and the old miners that were up here would, leave their mail hanging from this mesquite tree. Well, when a stagecoach would come passing through, stagecoach people would pick up the mail and put new mail, and they're the name Post Office Spring came from. So the spring was named after a post office because it kind of served as a post office. And then once the big gold boom hit up in the hills, they formed the town of Ballarat. Anyway, like I said, nobody really knows how true that story is, but pretty neat story. It sounds good. Check it out. We have one of the actual townspeople of Ballarat might be coming to say hi. How you doing, buddy? He was looking at us, but whoops. How you doing, buddy? He was looking at us, but I don't even think he cares that we're here. Another thing Ballarat's famous for is the wild burros wandering around. The old miners, when they left, some of them left their burros behind, and well, they're still here. See you later, old friend. Among the many characters that lived and worked in Ballarat, perhaps none is more famous than Charles Fergie, or Seldom Seen Slim as he was known. He arrived in Ballarat in 1917 and never left. Slim used to refer to the Panamint Valley as the suburbs of hell and was often heard saying, "The sun gets so hot the rocks seem to curl up. It's 120 in the shade and there ain't no shade. That's the hell of it." When asked if he would ever get lonely, he would reply, "Me? Lonely? Hell no. I'm half coyote and half wild burro." This is actually written on his grave marker. Slim died of cancer in 1968 at the age of 79. For the last 50 years of his life, he was the only resident in Ballarat. His grave in Boot Hill isn't the only place you can find a tribute to Slim. There is a large statue of him and a burro in Calico Ghost Town near Barstow, California, and a somewhat lifelike mannequin of him inside the mine ride at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. Thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. I know it wasn't the video that I had planned to put out, but I'm glad we're able to get something out there to you. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and do the like, subscribe, share, comment thing. It really does help. In the meantime, ride safe and see you later.